Whole species value nature system. I was watching on PBS, they had about segregation, things like blackface, things that they call slave prejudice. This is a breaching organized crime method that things like racism were used. This is a human fact cheating nature organized crime method. They used color. They used laws against a whole bunch of laws against everyone. That if you talked about the wrong things the wrong way, that was it. They hurt you, your whole family. They made everyone crazy. Not, in other words, they had made everyone have mental problems, but not before it was physical. While it was physical mental problems, that was the effect of a breaching organized crime method maintained, sustained. Organized crime method against our human fact cheating nature. Styles of liars preventing free speech then and now. Forcing us to be spoke for by color. Forcing us to entertain that with other people. Forced for a crime method with this. Sickly, distinctly. Internatures of cities. Sickly. So to be sickly, non-distinctly not discerned. But it's sickly, non-distinctly how. And these are the ones who are intercultural, not by our victims, but victim predators, and where and as and how it counts. Blaming the real causes of negative value of fake justice, fake truth tellers, fake passions and emotions, fake prejudice. Even if they have real hate and prejudice, the intercampus is associated with that. Interlocations, identities of the ground. This is an organized crime method that is exploiting the actual science of the value of the identity of the grounds ties to the engineering of our fact cheaping nature actually per science, which is going to cause positive or negative value nature progressions in relationship to its identity of relationship to itself, the perfect value progression. The one that these sciences were forced tactically ulterior from. We have that worse than obfuscated. We have that worse than self-valued obfuscated. Not by accident, interbranch, all kinds of original still. KKK, Confederate flag, this thing, that's theater. See that theater? Criminal cities, I'm not a lawyer, not please for not criminal insidious nature is a theater. It's a nature of theater positive. That was their uses of the blackface, of black and white hurting each other because they're both knaves with fact cheating nature, with identity thefts, with identity of the ground, quality of fact cheating nature exploitation. Then pretending, side. These are geographical sites. Sickly, distinctly hurt, effectively maintained, everyone blaming other things, others, themselves for the real causes of negative value nature progressions. Acts in nature, acts like predicate acts, natures like criminal and seditious natures, natures like wrongdoers, private, whole bunch of overt criminal enterprises, whole bunch of nation shared policing, whole that's on and off campuses. Natures of terrorism, threats against our safety of our students here, there, they die sometimes. That's to keep that the outcome. That's what that nature of it's worse than terrorism, but where it is terrorism, that's to keep the effects. In other words, then if something goes wrong, oh, you didn't follow what we had to do. In other words, these are suits and ties in collusion with overt criminal enterprises, private ones, and everything. Human fact cheating nature in an organized crime method illness, a syndrome, a fact cheating nature syndrome. I'm not a doctor either. I'll show you what logic's about. See, we had psychology involved with this whole bunch of nations that don't even like each other, but they're in collusion because they have database crimes and they have lie progressions from that. A whole bunch of crime methods recorded to hide this. The news is recorded and involved with crimes with the FBI people associated with them, with federal criminals associated with them, from former director of the FBI down. Stole my identity. There are crime acts in the background through administrations hiding this per their roles with child abuses, interages of campuses, and per this method that keeps originally still interbranch, all privatized, especially prisons, especially campuses. CCSU, Trinity College, involved with a whole bunch of people involved further with the principal sex offenders campus further criminally. So I'm not going to use all the names, but there was also people, Joshua Julian, Joshua Stryker. I never had anything to do with them, especially the Joshua Julian. I know the exception that they tried to pretend other too people in the past. So those are the people that are now attached to further child defense. They're not preventing me free speech. They lie about what's actually recorded. And they pretended me to conversations with Mendez police, who are also involved with a whole bunch of natures of federal crimes and databases and drugs. I never had him attaching me to fake locations with New Britain Superior Court with people through time. Whole bunch of people associated with a Pandolf family, doctors of various natures, intercities that I never even met their family members, but they affect me. These are Trade Center, Washington, D.C., former director of the FBI, other agencies like CIA, whole bunch of people associated with the Scalora family, on off Harvard Hospital locations, on off Tomorrow's Market, recorded, confessed, involved with them with crimes with child offenders, child sex offenders cliques, involved with drugs, untimely death cliques, and crimes with his Dillon family, identity theft cliques. See, these people I went to I never had anything to do with at college. They try all exceptions. They try to pretend other, criminally. They're keeping the trade center involved with what is maintained manifest intercities, interstates, as what can't help but need to hide life progressions, as what is facilitated right there is the only offensive evidence perception predators capable let being our defenses, the ones preventing us free speech, stealing our identities, originally still database crime rolls. Identity of the ground ties to our quality of fact human nature. Understand that, and I know, and tell me who denies it, because I'll prove them either criminally foreign influence, hurt, both delusions raw, if they pretend other. And because that was obligated by our organized crime counting bodies, not by accident, still the self-valued original and still self-valuing that. And with and as, for example, crime methods, pretending not to realize in our faces the stewardships of our American history through criminal foreign influence, glorifying how our founders didn't have free speech, glorifying how they made one nature of slavery just tortured more, but everyone was a fact cheap nature slave. Worse, identity of the relationship to the ground, forced to self value, breaching roles, with recorded tactically denatured organized crime method, not just against Native American, you're against Native American, you're against humanity, with organized crime method, left self value. Every modern nation, they did this. Forced group, too many nations, suits and ties, all nades. By all victims of a nature of childhood, by the time they have to deal with anything, they're all they're theater positive. Not by accident, they needed and value facilitated already all locations, natures of theater, fake positive care for civil rights. So they make types of rights. They're recorded using they're using the term LGBTQ to go into little kids' minds where even though they let people beat the kids in the past, they would have the sense to go and clean out the school with the people with these sexual roles and on off campuses, natures of crimes with the kids, with overt criminal enterprises, verbal federal crimes with them, interbranch family members hiding their life progressions, roles with identity thefts. How many crimes they had in cases already? Weathersfield, Connecticut. Bow down and fall. Fix the fake news, please. WFSB, Fox Connecticut News. Let's go. These are time and positions with the natures of child abuse. Intercampuses further recorded with child sex offenders. If you call the phones, they lie about their communications with you. They're being coached to this. We have women judges involved with the child sex offenders further, and with a whole bunch of people tied to the houses in my area that I never saw here growing up, like this Scalora family in Phil Colo, further involved with the child sex offenders, untimely deaths, criminal crime rolls with people that don't even know it was facilitated on and off Trinity College, on and off CCSU. Former director of the FBI down, connected all the houses in there, including the witness protection program, according to confessed criminally involved, including the FBI Crime Acts rolls with these people associated with this Joshua Julian's nature of crimes, whole bunch of nature of Weathersfield police involved, union crimes. Pretend to be for them too, because they're everyone when speaking through people who are identities of law, pretending that means they're true, and other natures of law. These are a whole bunch of natures of election crimes. People, Russians involved. So what we need to have they attached me and a whole bunch of other people to fake conversations. They attached a whole bunch of the WFSBs also recorded, confessed to demonstrate sequence shift roles, acting out fake other with areas, telling lies to parents. They're using the new reaction to the police and stuff as affected to it by this breaching organized crime method. They're using they're forcing sustained crimes through the kids, uses of database, who's going to put in whose class. Forget about it. I'll shut a counter that we need to pick one name and sequence it to branch because they do that crime acts sequence shift. These are all people interstates crimes with the trade center. Whole bunch of people on and off the locations of WFSB, Fox Connecticut News, involved with DACA crimes. Get the hell out of here. They're not capable of speaking for us legal nature wise, and it's not prejudice. Don't. This is a quality of fact cheap nature that can't defend free speech and is pretending other. That's criminal. That's criminal foreign influences. That's physical delusions formally. That's the natures of theater positive that value roles with sensibilities in life progressions and worse at the theater levels, movie level, local, Hamilton, all that. Associated also with these justice rackets, intermilitary recording, easily criminally foreign influence. Get out of here.